Okay. Yikes.
Yikes, indeed, and that's how we're.
Such animosity.
And that's how we're starting. You should see Adam when he DMs me, not like when he runs a game. I realize that's a confusing short of whatever. It's time for Wrath of the Righteous. We've rambled enough. I'm talking myself into a hole here. What's going on, y'all?
Blah, 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 blah.
I will go to Washington, and I will sick my cat on you, who is fortunately still sleeping on my lap. That's weird. That never happens. I know, right? Sometimes he's the most. Sometimes he's the most adorable person in the world. Sometimes he's an engine of terror and death. One there he is.
That sounds about right.
You know. Anyway, as always, Tim, Matt, Nick, thank you guys for your support or for filling the ranks. Adam is lame, as we were discussing, and so is not here right now. But I'm kind of okay with that because Adam's played through Wrath of the Righteous, so for the first time, no one knows what's going to happen. So we're going to resolve the cave of Eat the Gear first before we go grab a Tempe and move things forward. I rolled really bad for initiative. So real quick, this one is just Haken and Grzak. Before your very eyes, a knowledge religion check comes out of the portal.
Oh dear.
That's not good.
Can you describe what the beast looks like?
I mean, this is pretty iconic, and also Adam definitely said, like, I was going to change the encounter, and then Adam wasn't here, but no. Okay, 21.
Wait, you said religion?
Please.
Yeah. I can't even assist.
Nope, you have no idea. Basically, the first thing that comes forward is the beak, and then the wings, and then a cloud of gross twisty spores, some kind of half man, half vulture thing. DC was what, 19 for this thing? Yeah. Grzak is able to identify what is known as a Vrok. They are the embodiment of rage, hatred, violence. When people die and their sin was wrath, basically over time, they form one of these things. You did not beat the DC by more than 5, so you have one question. I will flavor it as it needs to be flavored, so it's not the most meta thing in the world, but you can ask like meta questions, just the one.
That horrible mass of like cloud of spores that you said that is surrounding it happens if we're next to this thing.
Well, you die. No, hang on, I gotta scroll in here. They seem to be coming out of its body, like, in time with its breathing. Like, it exhales and a little bit of spores come out of, like, pores in its skin and stuff.
Oh, good.
It will not feel the best, but it isn't as bad as it looks. It can also be counteracted by literally, like, when the spores hit you, the spores will sprout and vines will start, like, growing out of your flesh. The vines will wither away on their own, or you can shave them off, or if you could, like, bless yourself or something like that. Holy water also is effective. And Haken is first.
No.
I would advise. Oh wait, it's not my turn.
Talking is a free action. Oh, speaking of talking is a free action. Something, the first world in the portal to the abyss, something, divide by 0, and I don't have a sheet for Kieran, so he's not in this one.
Just suddenly gets sucked through a portal and is gone.
Just, oops.
Well, this thing exploded out of like a gross egg sac, right?
It was
Maybe
more
a
like
stray mass.
I walked through a flesh wall.
Yeah, which you guys had identified was a gate. Right over here.
This thing's just crawling its way out of that gross flesh pit.
Pretty much.
Thanks.
I don't think I want to use any of my mythic power just yet. So
I would advise to at least step back.
Step back? Okay.
So if this thing tries to charge...
I was going to charge it before it could charge us.
Oh.
And these are the plans of life.
Suppose so.
It's a charge or be charged world.
So yeah, we're going for first hit before get it while it's flat-footed. And this time, I'm remembering my favorite enemy bonuses.
You good? We had a whole conversation about that 2 weeks ago when I got over to his place.
I felt quite silly.
Oh,
so
same.
that would actually be a 21 to hit.
Okay. That is a number. Yeah, you just barely get there.
Okay. So 21 to hit, so then that would be 12, 16, plus 7 from skirmish.
Alrighty.
What is that, 23?
I believe so. Yeah. Math is fun. We spent most of Carrying Crown last night doing a squared plus b squared is c squared, trying to figure out who could target what with what that was flying, and one of our players was late and he shut up just, what the hell game are we playing? Because he had no idea. Okay. Hagen runs up, stabs the thing. Some of the punch of the punching dagger slides off a little.
Yeah, that figures.
And in addition, the Vrock itself is a little... as if it had been just literally birthed, it is still getting its wits and senses about it, so it's not really able to defend itself. And
Okay.
Oh. Well, seeing how this thing is obviously, everything, I'm going to try and smite and strike at this horrible abomination.
okay.
I do not think I have my... Oh, wait, this thing is undead, so it's an extra...
It is not undead.
I
guess
thought it was a demon.
Oh, it's not undead.
Yes, it is. It's very definitely a demon.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But that still pings for your extra damage from smite evil targeting things.
Yeah.
It's one of the most evil of outsiders.
Oof.
19 does not quite get there. Or wait, I lied. Hold on, I got a quick math. Does this condition give me a boopy? Okay, yeah, no, 19 does not quite hit.
Even if it's flat-footed?
Even as flat-footed.
Damn.
But he hit with a 17.
No, I had a +4 from favorite enemy.
Ah,
So it was
Okay.
effectively 21.
all right.
Which was enough to just
Okay.
hit. Alrighty. Is that all from Rizak?
That's all I can do.
Zabisti takes a 5-foot step back. You guys see before your very eyes as it starts incanting, a spellcraft check happens. But I don't think anybody can roll spellcraft in this party.
Yeah, I got nothing.
My caster level is that. I think I can max that out, can't I? Yeah. Okay, so then... oh, man, I just completely pooped my brain. Okay. Boom, 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 bam, bam. Oh, come on, roll 20. Why you do that to me? Because I didn't put a space after the shift R. There we go. And 7 copies of it appear swirling around next to it. It's still, it doesn't look good. If this thing had a digestive tract, it would probably be vomiting right now. Or at least a digestive tract that made sense. And Hawkins up.
Okay. Well, I guess we're gonna 5-foot step over here. And gonna take some hits at it to try and... if I hit it, great. If most, I'm just trying to get rid of some of these copies.
The 2-up and fighting guy would like to full attack until all the mirror images are gone.
Exactly. Unfortunately, until next level, that's only 2 attacks.
Okay.
I believe that'd be 26 and 21 again.
Okay, so this time the 21 doesn't hit now that the creature is a little more aware of itself, but the 22 does get there.
Okay.
And if you give me
You
a
need
D8.
to roll a D8 to see if I hit it.
Yep.
I rolled a 1.
And you do not. So definitely Hawking goes and spins, and the punching daggers go a punching, and one of them just misses really wide, but one of them catches into the side of the Vrock, you think, and then it disappears.
Okay.
I should do that. There we go. Dope.
1 down.
And 7 to go. All right, Grzak.
6 to go.
Well, then it as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop Radiance for a moment and full attack. Now that I see what Hawkins trying to do is draw it out, I will do the same thing.
Okay.
Or attempt to do at least. Here we go.
The only one that gets there is the 27, but the 27 does get there.
Right.
And I will roll a d7. Yahtzee. Okay. So your bite, you have dropped it. This is just like you're not using Radiance. You just want to go up and bite the thing.
Yeah.
Got it. And since you have done a smite, you break its DR. A couple of your claws just go flailing widely, but you bite and you definitely like. It feels like you hit something that is real as this thing screeches back at you.
I'm sorry. I just realized I rolled the one that isn't modified by smite.
Okay. So then the 17 and the 18 should be a little higher.
Yeah.
How much higher?
Sorry.
Well, Nick.
What? +3 on each.
Plus
so
3,
did either.
So then that would make the 18 a 21, which doesn't get there.
Okay. But that would at least. Wait, so did my attack seem to actually resolve against a physical?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So.
The one that got there was good.
Good. So the 10 would be a 17 damage then, because that's the smite damage going on too.
Got it. Okay, cool. 7 more damage.
Sorry about that.
No, that's totally fine. The rock steps back, and it begins asking for spellcraft checks that no one can roll. And it passes to Hawken.
Did we see anything happen?
There's swirly, occulty, evilly energy like pulsating around it, and it appears to be chanting, maybe dancing a little.
All right then. I mean, let's see. I guess rinse and repeat. 5-foot step attack. 22 and 24.
Both of those may connect.
So, and six. Oh wait,
So
that's not.
we needed a D number, a D7.
So way to do that. 1.
Yeah, just /R1 D7.
Huh. None.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I don't know how you're doing this magic.
What it looks like is that. Well, you can't. Boo! I'll put it in the Discord really quickly.
Okay.
That's where I'll put it. I'll put it in our not the Age of Ashes one. You ever think you have too many games? I don't. Not me. I did for a while. Like that. Whoop! Not a GIF. Why are you putting GIFs places, you coward?
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to show him how to type that.
Oh, okay. I see what I did wrong.
So a 2 and a 2, both of them miss. And Grzak.
Okay.
Or both of them miss. Both of them get.
Yeah, so it's down
Damages.
2 more
Yeah.
illusions.
10-foot step, and I can't full attack, but I can make 2 attacks with like claws.
You
So,
can't though.
First attack.
Using since you moved.
Oh
you
wait,
with
no,
one
you're right.
Vigor.
My
Yeah.
mistake. So
I've had
one
so
claw.
many really long arguments with a lot of people who are worse than y'all. Like, but it says I got 2 claws. I'll attack 2 claws. No, you don't. But a 29 would definitely hit.
All right, awesome.
And now we're down to number 6. Yeah. Or no, we'd be down to. I'm confused. I'm gonna roll a d6.
there should be 4 illusions left and
Plus
its real
him.
self.
So 5. There we go. Dope. And now there's 1 less illusion.
All right.
Is that all?
That is all.
Alright, the spell he is casting will resolve. I have a... What is my percentage on this? 35%.
He doesn't have to make a
Concentration.
He doesn't have to make a spellcraft check to. Oh wait, you're right. Never mind.
Because you didn't actually physically hit him.
Actually got them.
Okay, so I have a 35% chance of this working. You guys don't want me to roll 1 to 35. And you're very glad that I called it that way. The spell dissipates. And that was I can do that 1 a day. That didn't pan out for me. Boo! Okay, so I'm going to 5-foot step back. The creature casts...
into a corner.
And then he 5-foot steps up with his fly speed, you nerd. And gets a... I would say again, a spellcraft check happens, but he becomes infused with abyssal energy and it goes to Haken.
Nope, we're still at this. They're high. They're both high.
Yeah, they would both possibly hit. So now there are
26 and 31. So it's what, D4 and...
He's 5. D4 and D3. Yeah.
So does that hit it, or is that...
That hits him.
Okay, so I guess another D4.
That hits a copy.
1 illusion, and then he takes a whopping 11 damage.
Oh, he does. Is that with your... Oh, you can't skirmish, can you?
No, I say only 5-foot steps.
Gotcha. Slowly, I'm learning how this 3.5 stuff works.
It's cold iron, if that helps at all.
But it's not good. So
yeah,
it's bad.
No. It's
And
decidedly neutral.
yeah, it's meh. Tell my wife I said hello. Goes to me.
All right, I will do 5-foot step up and try to rip and tear like my name is a new guy.
One of these days I'll watch those videos and I'll get your references, friend.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, all 3 of those have the potential to do a thing.
Statistically, at least 1 will hit.
Never tell me the odds. That's what we keep Mahogany around for. I don't know the odds, I just like fantasy stuff. Ekidaki. So there are 3 of him plus 1, so I'd roll a D3. That hits him. And then I roll a D2. So we lose 2 copies. Bam, boom, and 18. Is the damage correct? Yeah, I see it's got the chaw. Okay. Anything else?
So, wait, so how many have we taken out so far total?
Looks like there's one
All
more.
of them now.
Is it all of them?
Yeah, there's 7 originally. So
Good,
that
that's
last
great.
shot should have been the original one.
Okay. Works for me. And as it passes to me, Grzak, are you immune to disease?
I am immune to disease.
Then this doesn't matter to you. As a free action, the Vrock has a bunch of spores burst out from its body, and both of you are adjacent. Grzak is immune. And Haken takes 5 points of damage.
No.
But now what do I do? I'm out of spells.
More unresistible damage?
More irresistible damage. It's my favorite kind. I guess I'm gonna just do a big old full attack, aren't I?
No, Haken.
Actually, I should probably mention that because I don't know if my health bar shows up on the
I
when
see
you
it.
post it on YouTube or not.
Yeah,
but-
it is. We all see it.
Okay, so I got a big boost to health between sessions because I didn't realize I should be getting the extra hit points from exposed to awfulness already. So I'm not doing too bad, actually.
Okay, cool. I'll full attack you.
That was not what I meant. I was answering his question.
Oh, okay. What feats do I have? I have those. None of those are really any of the feats I want to. Yeah, we're just gonna do a bap. We'll start with our claws. Our base attack bonus is how many? Where is Mobiab? Mobiab Ruski. is 9, so I can subtract that by 3. I will do so. So it's just both done. Fair enough. All right, these 2 attacks go at Hawken. It's a 20 and a 25.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay. Then next 2 attacks go at Grzak. 23, 27.
I'm pretty sure those.
It does feel a
What
little
is my-
breezy for Grzak right now, doesn't it?
Oh, right. They are.
But I still do technically have my Okay, yeah, never mind. I'm at 17 AC.
I should just attack you. What am I even doing with my life? All right, this is from 2 attacks. If you have any DR, so
Oh, wait.
5,
But
9.
sorry, I forgot that I also have my I'm smiting, so I'm 20, but that doesn't matter.
Okay, cool. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 from 2 attacks. Oh, bam! 29 damage.
I almost felt that. By almost, I mean I did.
All right, and I bite you. It doesn't work so well. It passes to Hawken. I didn't realize how many natural attacks these. I've actually never used one of these before, or really demons at all.
That's 40 damage. Okay, I definitely felt that.
Okay.
Ah, those were too higher. Oh well. No, now we're trading the bonuses and the forgetting of the modifiers. Welcome to Pathfinder, kids.
Let's see. Is this an actual square?
Yes.
Okay. Then, now we've gotten rid of the illusions, I'm going to use 1 mythic power to fleet charge over here.
Okay.
Which gets me 1 attack at it that ignores DR at full bab.
Already.
Um,
What does it provoke though?
from movement, let's
Yeah.
see. Does at any point in its movement, it does not specify. It doesn't say anything about ignoring attacks of opportunity. So yeah, I think it still gets the attack.
25 to hit then.
It does not hit.
Alrighty, fair enough. Boo.
We got high AC plus mobility.
Fair enough. And that ignores DR, you said?
I'll say it does ignore DR, and since I moved 10 feet from the charge, so that's. I need to just open up the calculator.
Yep, this is still Pathfinder.
So 29 total.
Okay, got it.
And that was all a swift action, so now we get to the actual attack, which didn't prompt. Why did that not go? Oh, there it goes.
Because we had some lag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
That is the most unfortunate. Rizak, you're on.
So, does a 14 hit?
It is not.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
And even then,
Okay.
it's a 1, so it would miss.
No. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Auto fail on ones. Okay.
I don't know if we don't know if this thing is combat reflexes. Otherwise I would want to flank, but then it would probably get an attack on me.
Mm.
You are also.
I have a
flanking.
question about
You're flanking now.
Oh, we are.
Mhm.
That's a
Perfect.
+2, right?
You got it. It also
Okay.
makes for really weird imagery as I use all 5 of my natural attacks to attack 2 opponents that are on opposite sides of me.
He's having a rough day.
The Vrock begins to breakdance.
That's not out of character for them.
It's really not, no.
I'm just imagining that scene from Kill Bill where she has the 2 swords and then she starts breakdancing in the center and just cuts everybody's sleeves. Ugh, feel bad for anybody who hasn't seen Kill Bill.
I haven't seen Kill Bill.
Anyway.
My dude, I haven't seen most movies.
Anyway, I'm gonna try and full attack.
Okay. And,
With the bonus from flanking's not included on these.
sure. And that has all your modifiers and stuff?
Besides the flanking bonus, yeah.
Gotcha. Alrighty. I don't know why I'm doing this math, but I'm going to do this math and be just really sure that you know he's Verdid, if you'd like to flavor it.
Oof. I don't know. As long as I can get its. Not sure if I want to take this thing's heads or feathers.
Why not
Unless
both?
this thing is going to disappear. Let's do it. Which attacks land?
All three.
All right. The first two claws rend at this creature's back as it tries to attack my newfound comrade, and the second one snaps its neck with the bite.
Good enough for me, and it falls. And I almost want to be like, and that's what we're going to call it for today, but that's not what we're going to call it for today at all. The cave is clear as this combat has gone on with the Vescivore Queen non-existent. Now, over time, her spawn have dissipated and or flown off out of the chasm at large. You, from time to time, you can hear Tempe doing wind things overhead to kill bugs, basically. But the way forward into Dresden is now clear, and you guys do level to 7. We can move forward at level 6 if you would like. But there's going to be a lot of stuff happen. It's wartime. And so if we want to take a quick pause for the cause to level up, I'm totally down with it.
What do you guys think?
I mean, I wouldn't mind the pause.
Same.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Well, actually, speaking of pause, OBS got an update recently, and there's literally hokidoki. So somewhere in between here and there, I realized I was on the wrong OBS. No, I don't know where my webcam went. All of you stop judging me. It's fine. We're going. Now we're level 7. It's time more for, I guess we'll just redo of the intro once again. More Wrath of the Righteous. Thank you all for your support on Patreon, and now we will do the in-character reflection for the hero point. Or nope. Mythic characters don't get hero points. I caught myself. You guys almost got lucky twice. So I'm going to roll a d3. What I'll say is Tim wasn't here last time, and I know I have a lot of players in this group specifically who, if they are being put in the roleplay spotlight, they need to be pushed into the roleplay spotlight. And we dealt with the paladin who wasn't feeling so hot about things with diplomacy. And by we, I mean Tempe, because Tempe's diplomacy is plus 20, and Adam pointed that out, that you couldn't fail. So we'll let you flavor that one if it comes to you, and if y'all could, your mythic path and your class and things, so we can put a voice to a token. Well, bam! First up, it's New Guy. I need to change New Guy's token art. I realize, because I've got several different images of Hawken floating around.
Yeah, I kind of spammed you with those for a little while.
No, that's totally fine. I think they look really good, and I like having artists in my back pocket. And Matt is probably the closest of my back pocket you could actually be. But
so let's.
This is the part where we kind of did it last time. This is the more of now that we're actually in and doing things. The behind the character's eyes. The last events, in character reflection, the class, your mythic path, things like that.
Okay. Especially since I guess I didn't really get an introduction to our healer last time. So I'm a now modified human, formerly human that got hit by a flaming baseball of mythic power. And has become something else now. As far as class and mythic stuff, I'm now a level up to Ranger 4, Scout 3, and I am a mythic trickster? No, champion with dual path trickster. So, as far as where he's at character-wise, I think he's still trying to wrap his head around everything that just went down, since in the last, it's been less than 24 hours, right?
Yeah.
Gone from being a scout hunter in the kind of this crusading army to getting hit with a flaming fireball, and now being kind of a designated hero, on top of getting some other weird weird, like I can now see perfectly in pitch darkness and things that I definitely could not do before. And so yeah, I think Hakon's kind of, and on the one hand is like, okay, I'm suddenly now able to better take out demons, which is awesome, but also what the hell is going on? It's just a lot to take in very quickly. I'm suddenly kind of now traveling with this group of people who are themselves like mythic heroes, and suddenly I'm now one of them. So yeah, I think he's in a bit of an adjustment period.
Welcome to the club.
Big damn heroes, Captain. Fair enough. I almost said take that hero point. Jesus, I gotta. They don't exist. Hero points aren't real. They can't hurt you anymore. I guess let's send it to Grzok next. We'll do Tempe last.
Okay. Grzok is, well, he will try his best not to show it as much anymore. That might be a lie. He is still upset about the loss of one of his first comrades that he met here in the World Wound. But he sees that, with the choosing of this new human champion, there is going to be hope for us. And a lot of what Harkon is experiencing now is very similar to how Grzok felt when we first received the true mythic power and were basically put through an apotheosis of sorts. With this, now that Grzok is all shiny and dragony, Kieran's anatomy is undecisive. Much of us are truly how much of what he is still really there, if that makes any sense. Thought about before.
Makes sense. And mechanically, you are a.
Yeah, sorry. Mechanically, I'm a level 7 paladin of Apsu, and I'm a champion.
Good enough. And I guess Tim, if Tim doesn't want to be immediately put on the spotlight, Tim can either tell me to shove it or walk the 15 feet from his bedroom to my bedroom and tell me to shove it. But in any case, actually, on that note, in January, Adam is going to be transferring to UMKC. So, I talk all the time on the channel about how, it's really cool. I get to meet people from Japan and Germany and Italy and all over the world. This group has the overwhelming majority of the people in it are from my city. And I feel like Boromir now that I've said it that way, but whatever. My city! Oh, sorry, Achilles. I've woken the beast. Anyway, so basically the long and short of it, for Tim's sake, was the waging into a helpless assault into the World Wound, the barrier that has kept demons out for so long, constructed by powerful divine entities, is now no more. Arles is feeling hopeless, and his feelings of hopelessness are beginning to spread to other members of the crusade. Y'all needed to stop and talk to him, and Grzok and Kieran, bless their hearts, they tried, but they don't have the diplomacy you do. And it was Tempe that was able to to break him out of his funk, shall we say. And if you'd like to flavor it, you're certainly welcome to.
Alright, so I broke who out of their funk?
Oh.
Again?
When you don't meet super often. There was when you went up to there was a chapel. Do you remember that part?
No.
Oh, okay.
What chapel?
There was also some spooky zombies, and you blew them up in one round with channel energy. And you'd taken him with you because there was somebody you needed to talk to because he was spreading dissent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. The guy that was spreading dissent. I remember him.
Right, that's the guy in question.
Okay, cool. No, I'm good.
All right, fair enough. No flavor here. It just magically happens somehow.
Yeah.
After a few, well, actually, I guess I shouldn't time skip forward. Grzok, Hakan, is there anything y'all want to do in the cave now?
In the cave?
Yeah.
I believe there was talk of harvesting trophies from the rock.
I'll just take the wings.
Just
Okay.
all the wings.
Just
I was going to say I wanted some feathers, but I think we got all the feathers.
there are
So,
literally no other feathers.
all
All the
right, we
wings.
good then.
Okay. So one thing I will point out, I guess, before we jump out, is the rift to the abyss is still open.
Yeah. I'm not sure if anything that we can do to naturally destroy it.
I'll see.
What happened?
I guess
Can
what
I
I'll
try
do
to
is,
target this with a channel or a lay on hands against the corrupted flesh of the portal?
it wouldn't do anything.
Hmm.
You're looking at more like probably a knowledge the planes or religion check, realistically speaking.
Well, I can make a religion check at least.
I can try both of those, but I have.
You will try.
Azak will also congratulate Harkon on his courage for facing against such a horrible creature of the abyss.
So Grzak knows to close this thing, you're looking at, in the most literal sense of the term, something along the lines of dimensional anchor, dimensional lock, dispel chaos, dispel evil, things like that. Magic circle spells also will, like, if you put a magic circle around it, the portal kind of divides by 0. Alternatively, you could just cause a cave-in, like, over here. And in doing so, like, they could enter the material plane, but they're not going to pose an immediate danger to your forces.
Okay.
So basically sealing off the entire tunnel entrance so that even though they can come through the portal, they can't get out because they're in a cave.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that...
Of course, they could, like, then teleport somewhere, but they wouldn't be coming up behind you.
Sure. And they wouldn't know where they were teleporting to.
Right.
Yes. Or at least as far as like dimension door or whatever.
Mm.
Okay.
It may be wise to bring one of the priests here, or any of the others who may know magic to seal off this.
Yeah.
It's not within my range of abilities.
Are there any spells that
Agreed.
would do that?
Yeah, like I said, dimensional anchor, dimensional lock, dispel chaos, dispel evil, magic circle spells work. Even like a wall of stone literally right in front of the portal. It's awkward, but it would do it. Same with like stone shape also works. It's like my favorite spell in the whole world.
So just throwing rocks in... Wait, throwing up a rock, like,
of course it's level 4.
will block out the entire...
Yeah, you don't need to block the entire thing you wandered through forever. Just right, I'll draw it. Just like right here, basically.
Can I make a perception check to see if there's any loose rocks around?
Sure.
Or along any areas around the portal?
Mm-hmm.
Say wood. Ooh.
Yes, there are. There's the Vescivores kind of eat everything, and that's including stalagmites and tights that have been half eaten through and then fallen down or over. That said, to be able to fill up this whole passage like that, just like carrying things and setting them there, would involve both lots and lots of time in terms of you physically moving things, and probably something to the tune of like a knowledge engineering check to make sure the whole thing doesn't just collapse on you.
Oh.
How big is the space that we need to fill up?
Oh, probably about 7 or 8 feet.
Cool. I will cast Wall of Stone, and just in case the whole thing.
The problem is Tempe's not here right now.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You know what?
Ah, that's a good idea. On that note, have you met my caster friend? Runs up, grabs Tempe.
Yeah. Seeing portals out of my depths. But So we're going to grab him?
Unless I can somehow punch the walls hard enough that it starts caving in the entire area, we should perhaps go get our friend.
I mean, I've got this crowbar, and you look pretty strong.
Yeah.
No, we can let's go get your friend.
I mean, not to brag, not to toot my own bugle, but yeah, I got some hours in at the gym.
Did my reps.
At the Lizard Man gym. They do exist. Don't question it. All right, enough goofing. No, in all honesty, though, we should probably just go get someone who could seal this off permanently.
Yeah, go see if Social or someone can find the portal.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we're in agreement then. We'll do that.
To camp.
Let's just pray that nothing else comes out of it in our absence.
Yeah, we should definitely come back whenever they come to seal it. Like us go with them personally. I mean.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So Tempe is basically just up the other side. Like, go back from whence you came, climb up, and Tempe is dealing with Vescivores and had been the whole time as y'all were down here. So it doesn't take a whole lot to run up, grab Tempe, run down, cast the spell. And then from there, your forces have been waiting on you to clear the hazard this whole time, and the next move is yours, generals.
So have we returned to camp at this point, or?
I assume. Unless there's somewhere else you want to go.
There's not.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
I would probably...
How?
I am in a bit of a predicament now, though.
No.
No longer have armor.
Oh. Wait, don't we have extra armor in the bag holding?
Yes.
That disappeared through a port. Never mind. That was bad plan.
We were confused as to whether or not we had 2+1 breastplates. We do, in fact, have 2+1 breastplates. One came from the Citadel. One came from that half-fiend you guys fought up at the chapel.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I think what I want to instate now is, before we had a high-strength character who was large, who could carry everything. Now we don't necessarily have that, because we don't have the character who's also large, unless you want to strap it to the rock. I think we
also have a camp and a NPC quartermaster.
Right, that's what I was saying. I was going to assume we would just have like the war chest, basically.
Yeah. All the supplies, there's a big box that says our stuff.
Don't touch our stuff.
Yeah. I'll go with it for now. How is the rest of the camp faring now?
People are hopeful. You're getting really close to your destination. Probably, if you were to leave now, you could reach Dresden in like 3 hours. That's good. Hi, Achilles. Would Achilles like that?
How late in the day is it at this point? Like, would we be having to travel through Demon Lands at night to do that, or?
You would probably be reaching the outskirts of Dresden at like dusk. It's hard to tell. The sun in the World Wound rises and sets in various myriad directions. It never gets really light here at all. And sometimes night has been its deeper darkness dark. Sometimes night has been its brilliant crimson.
So no way to tell, but this might be our best opportunity unless we want to wait for tomorrow.
Pretty much.
Perhaps.
And you guys know it's not necessarily, I won't say a matter of time before you're had, but the World Wound is not a safe place, and it's not implausible to like, we'll camp here tonight and Baylor. Or like 50,000 dretches in a horde come down and om-nom upon you.
What do best for us to consult our specialists on what we could do our next move, like or if we do want to attack, if we can formulate a sort of plan of attack.
But who are we attacking?
Dun, dun, dun. There is a city that needs to be retaken, basically. You guys are looking at advancing into a big old siege.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
I misunderstood that. I thought we were going to like an allied city.
Mm.
Never mind. That changes things a little bit.
So if we were to consult some of the specialists, in regards to the layout of the city or siege warfare, if that will be necessary for this fight, who would be the best to consult regarding that?
All of them are
have-
pretty good options. Aravashnial, as a member of an arcane order dedicated to basically be the big, scary anti-conjuration wizard that also is a conjuration wizard, is weird. He has been around for a couple hundred years more than everybody else, and so knows things a little better. Social's partner, Aaron, he is... you wouldn't necessarily call him like a siege engineer, but when Canabres was attacked, and I know Achilles.
It might be best just to like call them all together for a council.
Also true. Probably Horgus doesn't have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Is that what you want to do then? Is you want to go grab Urbody?
Seems like it would be the most logical course of action to take now.
Okay.
Think Harkon.
So what was that last part? It cut out a little bit.
It said calling together our specialists and planning a means of attack might be the best option so far.
I would agree with that.
Okay. So then if that is the plan
Wait, is Tim there? Or Tempe?
Yeah, I'm here, and I am
What do
in
you
with the
think?
plan. I agree with
You
your
are?
plan.
Okay.
Now, if we call it
Considering how
council,
ancient you are, I assume that's a good sign, because you're probably the wisest one out of everyone here.
probably the strongest personality.
Hey, who's
wisdom based? I
Ted?
don't really think any of you.
I don't know.
A
So,
ranger, an oracle, and
mean-
a paladin.
I have 18 in wisdom. It's my highest skill. That's not ability that isn't
Exactly.
charisma.
Nope, fair enough. I lied. Here I go talking. Okay, so
So, if we're able to gather our specialists, what could they tell us more that might be of advantage to us when attacking?
is that a question you're asking your GM or a question you want to ask them?
Oh?
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you have the specialists consist of Horgus, who is basically just your quartermaster at this point.
Right.
He will probably just complain about food running out. Like I was saying, Aaron
Actually.
isn't necessarily a he's a low Templar. Bad things happened to him down south, and he got to go sit on the wall, basically. That said, when Canabres was attacked, he was trapped in a tower. The tower had siege equipment, and he had to learn or die, basically, and he's still here. Sociel is a cleric of Shaylin. Sociel would probably give you a lot of advice on how to take care of your troops and not overextend yourself and things like that. Aravashnial is easily the oldest, wisest, smartest of them, and Nura, the halfling that's been wandering around with y'all, she was the queen's personal lore nut on the region who has been assigned to y'all. So she knows probably a lot about Canabres, probably about Sarkoris at large before it fell.
So does anyone here know a lot about the Dresden itself, the city?
Probably her as well. Dresden's I won't call it a super famous city, but it was important.
Okay.
Right.
Probably everyone would have at least a little bit to say about it.
Okay. What are the most likely places that they would have the most defenses along the wall?
That's hard to say. Nobody's seen it in a long time. To put that into perspective, let me do a giant scroll through this adventure path because I never can keep Pathfinder's years straight because they're in 4 digits.
Oh.
Dresden it fell in the year. Where is the flavor text? I gotta scroll up a little bit. I guess I can just go ahead and tell you because somebody would tell you, and you guys probably all together have heard a little bit. Dresden was founded in 4628. In this game, it is presently 4713. So there's your math. It was founded to establish a lasting foothold, and the whole city was engineered by dwarven crusaders who carved out the central citadel from just like a massive plateau of granite. It doesn't look unlike some of the sky citadels you can find around like Galarian at large. As work commenced, as it often happens in the World Wound, greater amounts of people who want to help would show up and then be assigned to work on like the surrounding lands. It's a real big city, a city that was big enough to house tens of thousands of crusaders on top of the population of the city. When you guys were in Canabras, you were sleeping in tents because there just wasn't room for y'all. There also, the river has dried up. You've been moving up the gorge this whole time, but being built on the Ahari River was a huge supply line for it as well. But it was in 4638 when the city fell, and nobody's been there since.
Okay.
I'll be really generous to everyone who's watching, and that's possibly because sometimes people will get in my comments and they'll yell at me when I'm bad at math. That means the city has been in, I won't say in the hands of the World Wound because corruption and badness and that kind of stuff, about 75 years.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, we wouldn't really know what to expect when going there.
Pretty much. Scouting would be a good idea.
So when you say it's like built into a plateau, do you mean like it's like largely underground, like dwarves inside the plateau, or like built on top of it? Like, I guess
more like a little inside the plateau is an accurate way to say it, but that's because the plateau was sculpted into a citadel.
Okay.
There's probably some underground stuff as well.
Okay, so more like it was kind of built into the walls of the plateau.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I suppose my concern with then moving onto an unknown, like when we don't know what we're walking into at night, is that we would then potentially get the enemy's gates as night falls, and they may end up having an advantage on us because demons can see in the dark. I don't know how many of our forces can do the same.
None of them. I guess I won't say none of them. There's probably 1 in every 20 has dark vision, but as a mechanical unit, they do not have dark vision.
Okay.
To say nothing of their horses.
Attacking by night isn't an option, obviously.
No.
Scouts could. How. What would the risks be of sending a scouting party to give us details on the city?
I mean, the risk is evident and apparent everywhere in the World Wound, but it's the logical first step.
No more risk than doing anything in the world wound.
No more risk than the conversation you guys are having right now.
Okay. So I suppose the question is, do we want to move in closer and then send in our scouts, or do we want to just maintain the camp we've already established here and send scouting parties out over like tonight?
Little one, you've Grazak will now address Tempe.
What's up?
You should do little one.
Is everyone little one to you? I thought you were talking to Kieran.
He is very big.
He's a big boy.
Well, I am small, like literally.
Oh yeah, right. That's right. Yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah. What are you? I missed this description. I'm sorry.
Oh, I am. Give me just a second here. I am what is called a Galeus, which is something that looks kind of like a air method,
Okay.
but more like humanized. There's a picture of it somewhere.
It's kind of like a cross between like a method and
it's-
like a fairy-esque looking.
Yeah, it's like an evolved form of a air method.
Okay.
Or like an Uber sylph is what I see when I look at it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And since Tempe's apotheosis, the wind is she has resting Super Saiyan 2 face, is how I've described it. Like
Resting Super Saiyan 2 face.
Like
Kieran
like
is
her
not in
hair
mechanical
constantly
danger.
looks
Kieran is not going to get blown away by the wind that out from her in all directions, but she is the wind.
You said you have wings?
Nope. No wings.
Oh,
Not
no
yet.
wings.
Not until the Oracle stuff gets the wings.
I mean, I can fly, but that's because of my my wind oracle thing. But in the character thing, in the racial part of that, instead of being able to fly, the wind helps me run faster.
Flavor wise, I think it's very cool. I think everything you get should have been what the air kineticist got. I'm just partial to Aang.
So, little windy one. What do you think that we should do? What is your input on this?
Definitely going in. I actually can turn invisible for short periods of time now, so I might be able to go in and see what's going on without alerting things too much, which would be good. Although, as always, going in alone anywhere is not great.
And I may not be able to turn invisible, but I can certainly help with scouting. It was my job before this.
Kieran says something sarcastic about his ability to scout.
In Harkon, you've proven that your scouting abilities are definitely very effective to help with spotting out that giant hive.
Okay.
I have a proposal. But obviously, from our spears in the hive, I am not good at the sneaking. Never have been.
That's fair.
When hunting. Never have been, even when hunting. But it still may be easier for. I do not have to be on the ground in order to be, sneak from them. You could prove to be very good at going through the ground. I propose we go there, the three of us.
Mhm.
I could provide a type of overwatch from the skies while riding on Shaga.
Hmm.
You two, as you scout and sneak through the area, we don't go we don't get close enough to actually provoke them, but we try and get, at least from a distance, observe what their defenses are like.
Hmm. I like it. How do my only concern is how would we communicate if you're up above without drawing attention from a large eagle flying down?
Fly really, really high up so that what they think is a giant eagle is just a speck.
Yes. No, but more like if you see something that we need to be aware. If you see a Balor just coming our direction and we're not aware of it yet,
This is fair.
how to get that message across?
Well, you look for Grzok's head as it's falling through the sky, and then you will know. Vorpal weapons.
Wait, I have reflective scales. Can I do like a Morse code with the light signaling down?
Unfortunately not, because it's never above like low light vision out here.
Ooh.
Very dark, very spoopy.
Oh wait, I might have something for this. I haven't introduced you to Ubin yet.
Oh yeah.
Um, I guess I just use the can I communicate through the empathic link to like get over here?
There's probably a feeling that feels like come here.
Okay.
The feeling of like when you feel like you miss somebody or need them or wish they were here, that kind of emotion could translate over, yeah.
Okay. So without going anywhere, a black raven flies into our little council. So we didn't have time to go grab him earlier, but this is Ubin. He's my bird. He's a bit of a know-it-all, but if he were up there flying with you and you notice something concerning, maybe he could communicate even just like a base warning to us. That said,
Empathic link goes out for a mile. Hawken feels fear that isn't his fear.
yeah. Not perfect, but it would be a little bit of something.
Could work.
I do warn you, though, he will talk your ear off about anything and everything.
I have been hanging around humans for the past several months. All you do is talk. I can handle tiny bird. Especially that one over there. I say as I wait, is Horgus in this council?
The council has not been called because you haven't talked to anybody. I assume we're still in like planning stages.
Oh.
They certainly could be if you would like them. That's why I've been quiet, was I wasn't sure.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I meant to do in calling forth council, so that, like... Oh.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess that got mistranslated.
And then the council was suddenly convened.
Woo-hoo.
Okay. Actually, on that note, if everybody could give me a sense motive check real quick.
Is like the one skill that I'm not very good at.
Don't dump your wisdom.
Actually,
please.
there's a lot of skills I'm not good at, but...
Like stealth.
I mean, I didn't.
Okay, so Tempe, if Tempe would like to roll also, there it is. Okay, fair enough. So, and the burb, yes indeed. So the council is convened, everybody shows up, it goes over Grzok's head, and Hawken doesn't super notice it either. But it's Tempe that realizes that the not siege engineer, Aaron, he's really withdrawn. He doesn't really, like, he won't make eye contact with anybody. He's kind of shaky a little bit. Everyone
I
else is
will-
here. As there's talk about
I want to take him aside and see what's going on.
okay, as there's talk about trying to move messages back and forth, Aravashniel says, just, well, I could go with you, I suppose. Summon something, send it, deliver your messages. If it dies, it'll just go back to heaven anyway. You look up at Aaron and give me a diplomacy check, if you would.
Yep, no problem. Let's see.
Not for you,
diplomacy
no.
here.
I don't know why I ask. I've seen your mod. He nods and gets up and follows you. He doesn't say anything, and everybody... actually, no one really seems to notice him get up. People are looking at like a map of Dresden at large. Aaron is sitting by his partner, and Sociel doesn't really react either.
We have a map?
There is a map that people are looking at. There is not a, like, a... Here is the map in-game. The map you guys are looking at, like, in character, is 75 years out of date and is mostly just terrain.
Fair, I guess.
So give us a general inkling, but probably not the most reliable.
Pretty much. Okay, and Aaron goes out with Tempe.
Alright. I'm gonna start trying to figure out. I'm gonna ask him what's going on and try and get him to tell me why he's feeling depressed or whatever it is happening with him.
Same reason everyone else is. We're in the middle of a... I guess I shouldn't say hellscape, should I? Not exactly friendly territory.
Right. Try and hear him. We're in the end game of this. We're about to finish things up. We're doing good.
I mean, not necessarily finish things up. We're about to like get to the part where things will get worse. We've been going up on the roller coaster, and we're about to go over the corner and start dropping, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna try and talk him down, get him to feel a little bit better, because that'd be a diplomacy roll, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He just kind of like, he's still like, his whole body is visibly shaking, and he nods, and we should get back in.
Okay. So I'll go in with him.
Okay, and the pair of you return. Aaron, Sociel looks up at this, and he has like a worried expression on his face. Gazak would like to tell a lie.
Oh, whoops. No, I would not. Sorry. That's quick.
Your rock is much where your rock tries to be a people, and it doesn't pan out at all. Sociel looks up at Aaron, and he looks a little concerned. Aaron kind of like nods it off. They sit down. Council resumes. The floor is y'all's, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Oh, aside from your bird being as a little messenger, I've been told that there's some magics that allow communication over long distances. I don't suppose anyone among our company may know such magic.
Narvashniel shakes his head. Again, if you'd like me to ask for an Archon to fly the message across the battlefield, I certainly could. That's all I have.
How much do we know about Archons?
Enough. I'll say.
More using just player knowledge question, or translating to character knowledge question, but
that would depend on a knowledge check. You've probably fought alongside an Archon at some point that someone asked to come help out.
Okay. I guess my thinking is, would this be a small lantern Archon that would just as much be a beacon to that we're here and potentially notify our enemies as well?
Not necessarily. That's certainly the first one that comes to mind because it's kind of like my first outsider spell for a lot of people.
My concern is that if
Archon.
he uses this, he would still have to come with us to summon it.
You think that's a problem, my lord? Yeah, at the my lord, he looks up and this is probably the first time Grizak and Aravashnial have made eye contact since Aravashnial was capable of making eye contact.
It's been a long time since I've spoken with Elf Sensei.
And also most of the conversation he was blind. I'm concerned that you are too valuable of a resource here to Yet you consider sending the
coming with
newly
another
minted
scout.
whatever you are, and looks over at Hawken. The fact of the matter is, I owe you my life, I owe you my sight, we all are counting on you. I will follow you. I have followed you this far, I could be sitting in Canabres, relaxing. But here we are. I'm with you.
I look over at Tempe and I guess over the others. What do you think? Aga is strong enough to carry me and him as well, I suppose.
Yeah, Aravashnial probably weighs like 110 pounds soaking wet.
I mean, if he wants to go, I don't see any reason to necessarily stop him. He's volunteering.
Very
I'm
well.
okay with it as well.
Okay.
All right. It is decided then. The four of us, myself, Hakan, and Tempe, and Aravashnil, shall make a scouting run around what's left of the city. Further than we need to within range of them. Then we come back and report what we find. Agreed?
Agreed.
Aravashnial nods.
Right.
Achilles agrees. Okay, so I will... Quick! To book one of Wrath of the Righteous, we need stats for an NPC. In any case, y'all take off. It's about 3 hours.
Need to find saddle that is not horse-shaped.
How many people are trying to ride on the rock?
I don't know. Do you think it... I'm not sure how wise it actually would be for Vashnil to be coming with me specifically.
Okay. What is the alternative you propose?
Oh. Two options is either he's on the boots on the ground with Harkon and Tempe, or he's in the sky with myself.
Okay. If he's in the sky with you, he's on the rock.
Yes.
Almost all his spell list is more focused towards like magic circles and protection against evil and summoning monsters and things like that.
So like asking him, do you feel like you can make it on the ground, or are your spells not equipped for this sort of frontline scouting?
I think I should. And he looks at the enormous bird, and he gets a little visibly uncomfortable at it. I think I am better served up there. If nothing else, should worse come to worse, I can. And he gets on top of like a 3-foot embankment, and then like jumps off the embankment and snaps his fingers. And what would be a second fall is like a 3-second fall. If nothing else, I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
Fair enough. Right.
Is your bird strong enough to support 2 people?
22 strength on a large creature. Carrying capacity
it also has
is...
the hefty brute feet.
Okay, so it should be... It might be light encumbered. I'm not super sure, but you should be fine.
Travel light for this mission anyway.
Quick, leave everything at home. Okay. So y'all, the journey takes about 3 hours. What you would call night happens in transit. This is mostly because you begin to feel tired, not mechanically so, but like the day is wearing on. And you crest over the city. The first thing you notice as like the river gorge begins to make its way up is you can smell Dresden before you can see it. The smell of filth and smoke and grime, it comes on the wind way before you can see the city.
Way up high in the atmosphere.
That you probably see a bunch of like smoke and stuff curling up that way. So Dresden itself, as from the vantage point that the flyers have, the citadel, the plateau that was turned into a keep, that is walled. That has a gate. The rest of the city is kind of just sprawling out from there on a couple of sides of a dead riverbank.
Make a perception check to see if they have any sort of defenses set up around already, or any visible forces.
Okay. Make it so.
And Aravashniel make a perception check too.
He'll do what he can. Bam! What he can do is better than you, haha. He has a... Actually, I think the stat block I'm looking at for Aravashniel that has a really bad perception is including the fact that in book 1 he was blinded. Okay, so it's...
That out there too.
Y'all look over, you guys look down. Aravashniel, he does not try to shout over the wind. Rather, you feel like a finger poke into the back of your head. Just, we can't tell from up here how many there are. Certainly there's something down there.
Yes.
A fair note also is there's nothing flying right now.
Okay. Right. Well, send it. Can you summon your Archon? See how the others are faring.
Okay. What do Tempe and Hawken want to do on that note?
And we're on the ground, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go invisible, get a little closer, but we're close-ish to what we're looking for, or...
Okay. To do that, you would need a magic or stealth checks, basically.
Okay. I see them, by the way.
Yeah, so stealth. Alright, so add 20 to this for being invisible.
Okay.
So,
that was a bad roll.
35.
Okay, so you two take off.
I rolled a 2.
You did indeed. Getting up to Dresden is... Nothing stops you. There are... I guess one way to put it is the resistance you might expect this side of the wall would be like... Plots, thousands of plots, that kind of thing. Just like a group of demonic individuals that are hanging out here. Nothing like that happens. That said, it would probably take you guys the better part of the day to fully go throughout the city, scout it, learn what you can.
So does the river like cut through the city, or does it just go like past it?
The river goes through the city about, from what you can tell, maybe like not half a mile, maybe like a quarter mile from the walls of the citadel itself. There is no water there now, and you've been moving through the riverbed this whole time. It's just a really steep gorge. We're talking like almost 90-degree angles.
Okay. What do the walls look like around the river? Or like, is it have they sealed up the riverbed where the walls should be? Or...
No, the riverbed itself is just there are, and Grizak Arvashniel, you can see this as you're flying up top. There are 2 bridges that cross the riverbed, and Grizak knows that like he himself could scramble up the side of the wall and or up the side of the like riverbed, I should say, and it wouldn't be the most difficult thing in the world. But a bunch of mounted men and women on horseback are going to have a problem with it. So those bridges become really important. The walls themselves, from what you can tell as you begin to move in, they seem to be maintained. There are not fires as in we need a light source, more like fires because we like fire in like towers alongside the wall.
And so I assume like the gates are similarly maintained and...
Yeah, it's clearly still being used.
Okay. So I guess my thinking at this point is that we could potentially try and send a force in, like a light force through the riverbank to open the gates to get to get our army into the city. Could be one option.
Like, taking mounted forces through that area, though, would probably be difficult. Or was it just the bridge in particular that would be tough?
The bridges are vital, I should say. It will be very, very difficult for a bunch of men, women, and horses to move up a 90-degree angle.
So I think the challenge was that if we tried to send our cavalry through the riverbank to infiltrate the city, they'd then just be kind of stuck in a gorge.
Yeah. And it's also, it does cut the city part itself basically in half. You can't... One way you could do it... you could, if you were willing to march for miles in the other direction, you could get on the other side of the riverbed. The riverbed is directly between you guys and the Citadel.
See.
Sorry, you cut out for a second there. I heard the riverbed's directly between us and
the
something.
Citadel.
Okay. Are there gates on our side of the city, though, that we could potentially...
No, the city itself is just kind of sprawling. Like, the only walls are around the Citadel.
See.
So the Citadel walls are not impacted by the riverbed at all? Okay, that was my misunderstanding.
It's all good.
It seems that send a small force in to open the gate. Then our forces can flood in.
That small force would probably be you guys, or it would be like specialists as well. You guys have 100 soldiers with you. And Achilles.
Missed that last bit.
Yep.
Small force would require what?
It would require like specialists or you guys. You don't have enough troops as it stands to just like, I'll send 20 people. 20 people is a fifth of your army. I cut out there too. 20 people is about a fifth of your army.
Okay. Well, I mean...
Them and...
I left the call to see if I could get my the internet to not poop. If anything important was said there, I missed it.
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
So what do the defenses around the bridges look like?
That would be... Getting a little closer to those would be another stealth check, I would think.
Okay. So would I have to be like entering the city at that point to get a closer look?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess if I'm starting to approach that close, how populated does it look?
Not in the traditional sense. It does not look populated. There are...
That's much better.
You're certainly in urban terrain now.
Hell yeah.
Time to time, as you move through from where y'all come in at, there's not necessarily populated places so much as here's 50 tieflings. Here's a bunch of people who are leading slaves or captured victims to pens, basically. But there's nothing really organized, and you do go unnoticed up to the bridge. The bridges they have towers. There are clearly people moving around in the towers.
Okay.
If I were to fly close enough to warrant a new perception check, would I have to make another stealth check for myself?
The stealth check would come from your rock, and yeah.
Okay.
I could send Ubin. Ubin can volunteer to fly in closer. He's a small bird.
Would probably be more effective than my big bird.
Okay, where are we sending him?
Where were you wanting him to fly? He is effectively familiar, so he is sent.
Still, like, high up in the air, but closer to the ground than I am flying.
So, like, checking out the citadel or the bridges? You're just trying to do, like, a sweep.
Sweep, I suppose.
So, Tommy, do you need me to make multiple perception checks, or?
Just one is fine.
Woo!
Okay, so as you go over the citadel, there are 4 watchtowers on the walls. The watchtowers are manned. They don't have a canopy over top of them. In place of that, sitting in the center of the watchtower, mounted on something that will allow it to turn 360 degrees, there are 4 catapults. They are perfectly well maintained. The ammunition is everything from busted up bits of masonry that you might find around Dresden itself to grosser things you would find in the World Wound. The citadel is defended. Nobody looks up. The citadel is defended.
The catapults are on the citadel or on the bridges?
On the citadel.
Okay.
The bridges themselves, they seem to have... It's hard to tell. Well, no, not for little Ubin. Ubin can get close enough. The bridges run over a gorge and drop about, like, if you were to fall off the bridge, you'd fall about 100 feet into the bottom of the gorge. You've never really seen the knowledge nature check, or maybe you have. I don't know how I'm running that into roll knowledge nature. But there are creatures tied, like they're chained to the bridge at the bottom of the gorge. And Ubin knows that sometimes when animals wander into the Whirlwind and eat things they shouldn't, or when cultists find animals in the Whirlwind and make them eat things they shouldn't, it will corrupt them. The 4 animals in question are aurochs, and these are they're basically like half-demon bulls. They're tied to the bridge. There are chains running back from their necks to the bridge. They kind of just sit at attention.
And so they're on the bridge. They're not in the crevice or in the gorge.
They are in the gorge. They are at the very bottom, tied to the supports in the bridge that go down.
Oh, okay.
As far as the bridges themselves, the towers appear to be pretty lightly manned.
Okay.
Those aurochs are the mechanism by which the bridge opens and closes, I imagine.
They're the mechanism by which the knowledge engineering check is rolled.
No,
it seems more like they'd pull the supports out.
Oh.
Okay, so they're there to...
In case of fire, yell at bull, bridge collapses. And y'all know if the bridge collapses, you don't have a way to the citadel. That doesn't take you days out of your way, and certainly the citadel will be on a much higher guard if they had to resort to tearing up the outer defenses.
Okay. So, just because I don't want to ramble this whole thing out to you, Ubin will fly back, gives you this full report, going on to several lengthy diatribes talking about the fascinating effects of demonic corruption on mundane animals. And
in the year 4626 AR, by the Crusades, to establish a place, they built a bridge, and they built it like this, and it's got 1d4 plus 2 support structures, and the bulls are gonna fuck it up. Gotta be careful.
A very similar strategy was used in the Battle of...
Yeah, pretty much. And on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, demon flesh does not taste very good.
Nope, don't eat it.
It's from someone.
The more you know, as the raven just flies off. I know, Achilles, you're the only cute pet. There are no ravens. Ravens don't exist.
So that could be a problem because that might be something that they could. So they could basically collapse the bridge whenever they wanted. It
Pretty
sounds
much.
like.
Yeah.
Wait, were the bulls attached by just like by ropes or like by chains? And what was harnessing them?
They're just basically there's a chain running from the neck back to the supports.
Okay.
Of course, were you able to get?
So what?
Yeah, I didn't catch it either. I'm sorry.
How close were you able to get to the boar or the oxes?
Probably about 90 or so feet. Eventually, they would be able to smell him.
Oh man. Would be ideal if we could somehow sabotage that little trick before they ever are able to pull it off on us. I imagine as soon as they see a force able to punch through, they would just pull it immediately.
That's it. Suppose I'm not there, but Uben can bounce ideas off of you about. So yeah, we need to take care of the. We're likely to need to take out the bulls first so that we can eliminate that hazard and then attack the bridges directly. Once we clean the bridges, we then have a clear shot to the citadel. However, we'd have to likely would want to try and disable the catapults there initially as well to minimize casualties to our forces as we try and attack.
Right. Okay. At this point, I would tell your Uben that me and Aravashnia were going to come down and we could try and reconvene.
Okay.
That sounds like enough decent information for us to come up with a plan, I think.
Yeah. Let me get one more perception check from the fly boys.
Okay.
Our Vashnel's new eyes are working real good. So as y'all fly over top of the city, you do notice there's not like movement of organized troops necessarily going through the city, but there are, like, if you were to just, I'm going to go straight for the citadel, every tiefling in the city that would want to then attack you from behind could do so. In addition, on the far side of the city, Grizak, Aravashnial, and probably Uben too, buzzing over, you notice what is very clearly, at one point in time, was a cemetery. One of the bigger crypts is radiating it's not dark. It's kind of a rusty crimson color out today, but around that, it does, around the, one of the particularly larger crypts, it is pretty dark.
Oh, like there's a strange darkness around it, you mean?
Aravashnial will consult his spellbook and his character sheet, because he probably would have a decent idea of what this is. Arcana is a 12. No, it looks like something cast darkness on that. That's why it's dark out here.
Wait, are they sand?
Kind of. A lot of you're gonna realize over our time together that a lot of me is sand. So, and maybe like 2 people in the comments get that. I don't think.
A lot of you is sand.
And Nick doesn't get. I'm actually playing a villain from Spider-Man, and I don't know anything else about him because I don't really know a lot of superhero stuff. Further, I think it might be some kind of desecration, some kind of unholy blight, something we might want to address. Or do you feel like being eaten? Though I guess, and then he starts a 5-minute tangent about how everything here is going to eat you anyway. Circle of life.
You for a vote of confidence, mage.
Ubin is probably not helping this tangent.
Why not? Oh.
So are we able to get a sense on the ground of like how populated the city is? I know you said it was kind of dispersed pockets of troops, so it's not like all of the houses have people actively living in them or anymore at this point.
In total, as you look around, it's hard to say because a lot of it is really spread out, and there's no one living in the houses. They're either living in the ruins of houses and they're tieflings, or they're like this combination of 3 or 4 houses in a city block have been converted into like slave pens. But there's probably, if you had to hazard a guess, the outside probably has a few hundred various evil outsidery things running around.
Okay.
They probably have some kind of pit boss that they answer to. Dretch is answering to a Shear's answering to up and up and up.
Yeah, but it's not like a fully populated city like it would have been in its prime anymore.
No, not even close.
Okay. So.
And this is partially because when the Wardstone barrier went down, there was a Merilith that was stationed here, and she and all of her forces, basically, except for like what was the bare bones to defend it, immediately went south to start attacking non-World Wound held territory.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And as that thought crosses everyone's mind, the thought that immediately follows is, by the gods, what if she comes back? Because all she has to do is snap her fingers and she would teleport back in.
Hello, buddy.
And Razak will have another trophy to add to his growing collection. Or, I might become a trophy.
It's the dream.
Okay.
Can we win that fight? Probably not. Are we going to try? Let's stop that.
It's totally up to Tommy.
Try what?
Anyway, this might be enough for us to reconvene on no?
I would say.
I think once Hakon's gathered all that he thinks he probably can, he's going to get out of the city before he risks detection.
Sure.
Right. Grazak will tell Eravashnil to hold on tight, and we go sailing down towards the ground.
Eravashnil.
Are we able to spot Harakon and Tempe from where we're at?
Tempe's been invisible. Haken probably... Ubin and Haken can find each other on their own via the empathic link.
Yeah.
They play Marco Polo for a little bit, and you get there. As you go to dive in, Eravashnil probably just like barrel rolls off the side and feather falls so as not to be subject to gravity. And the reconvention occurs.
Okay. Oh.
So it seems like it's a skeleton crew. So if we can plan our attack right, I think we should have a chance at taking the city back.
Should be. It's doable. But there are but I agree with you though. It seems that we have 2 primary targets then. Bolts and
the bridges in the Citadel.
In the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Precisely. I haven't seen how siege engines work yet, but from what I've been told, they could lay waste to an entire force if we allow them to.
Indeed.
It's a matter of how we would take them out before they have a chance to fire or death to our own forces.
Do we have any siege engines of our own?
You do not.
Okay.
Perhaps Tempe.
Okay.
I'm wondering, What would my... I would like to test something. Is there any large trees or debris nearby?
Trees,
made of
no.
wood?
Debris, yes.
I would like to test my frost breath against a large piece of wood as a simulation against what would happen to a catapult.
Okay.
Unless that's something I would already know inherently.
I mean, it would do damage. I had the
Would it?
stats for catapults up automatically. I was ready for that. See changes. It wouldn't necessarily be the best way to do it, but brute force over time will tear up all the things. Alternatively, just like
Disabling them one by one.
cut the ropes, yeah. Further, disable device can be used to sabotage something.
Ooh, okay. So if I say, does our alchemist also have disable device?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. So if the two of us could get in, we could potentially start taking down the catapults. That would still leave the challenge, the bulls at the bridge, though. And we'd have to get in and get out. Let's see. Indeed. At this point, do we want to head back to the rest of our troops, though, so we're not staying too long beyond enemy territory?
That's probably the best idea. Yeah.
Okay. And so it was. Another 3 hours or so, y'all head back. Give me... I'll make the roll. I know what people's mods are.
So,
Okay, so as y'all make your way back, it's probably Hawken that notices it. But there are some, like, those same halfling footprints that you saw
yeah.
about a day ago. They had followed you out for a little while.
Yeah.
And then doubled back.
And so they did this again.
Mm-hmm.
Did they follow about the same distance, or did they go... Like, is this something that we only notice when we start getting close to camp again, or did they follow us, like, the whole way there?
They followed you guys until you would have turned a corner, basically, when you were out of sight of the camp. And then they double back.
I would like to point those out to Grazak and Tempe if he's back. I don't think he is.
I don't think so.
Is he AFK?
He was making dinner last I heard.
No, I'm back.
No, fair enough.
So yeah, I noticed these when I was tracking, or when I was out scouting this morning as well. Have y'all heard anything as far as, I think it was coming, or is going to and from Sociel and Aaron's tent? We're being followed. That's what I'm getting at. We're being followed.
Mm-hmm. That is unsettling.
So isn't anything you're aware of them doing in the past?
None. Cecile likes to paint a lot, which, I don't get all that, which I don't really understand all that much as to why. I mean, it's part of his religion, but I'm up to anything nefarious. What of the own little halfling? What was her name?
Her name is Nura. I will.
Who is this character?
She knows a lot about ancient history, was part of the Queen's retinue. Queen assigned her to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Do you know any other halflings in the camp?
Yeah, they're... I'm not necessarily going to stat the race of every single person who's riding with you, but there are probably some gnomes, halflings, and other
Sure.
less than tall races on ponies.
Sure.
Or doggos in some cases, probably. If you're going to have the trope, you might as well take it all the way.
And in the warhounds.
Send in the warhounds for the Shire! And off they go.
Wild riders.
I believe the term is outrider, sir.
Yes, I know, but you can't go eating onions. They're not good for you. I'm gonna follow these tracks again. Do they lead back to their tent, or do they lead somewhere else this time?
Yeah, they lead right back to the same spot. They lead back to Aaron and Sociel's tent.
I mean, you know them better than I do.
I do not know. I say we just ask them when they're awake.
They're probably awake now. It's you guys show up in the last 15 minutes before people would be setting up a watch and calling it a night. The majority of people are gathered around the one campfire that people will risk because you're kind of like in a desert. It'll be 120 degrees by day and it'll be 20 degrees at night.
Oh, jeez.
And it'll fluctuate in about 30 seconds. So gathered around what fire people are willing to risk, eating what food they can, things like that.
Oh, yes, Ceci will know about it. And are they, Ceciel or Aaron, around right now?
Is there like a light on in their tent?
There is not. Matter of fact, their tent is probably very, open air, shall we say. Lots of paintings and frescoes and clear views of what would be pretty, but actually is just sad hellscape. And they're not there. They're not home.
Oh.
Are they among the people at the camp?
You would assume, that they're just off gallivanting somewhere.
Okay.
Well, gallivanting is a strong word.
Can I do a quick once over around their tent to see if these tracks pick up going anywhere else, or does it all just kind of get lost in the shuffle at that point?
Survival and perception.
Let's see.
Actually have points in that.
Survival and perception. And any relevant modifiers that might be.
Ooh.
These are... Okay. So both of you are able to find the tracks of the halfling. There's very clear evidence that the closer you get to the tent, the more the tracks, they tried to obfuscate them. But you all can pick up on them, and you head back in, and the two of you working together, you find that the tracks, though again they try to blend in some cases the halfling's footprint goes inside where Sociel's grieve print is, so it's there's a bit of toe that overcuts the bigger footprint, or some hair or something. They lead to a knapsack which has been it looks like they tried to stuff it under, I guess not under a bed, but into one of their bed rolls, but it's hanging out at a really awkward angle.
What is inside the knapsack?
You go looking through it. It's clearly not Sociel's. Sociel's has brushes and paints and all that other shell-y stuff. One of the first things you notice is there are a couple of vials of... Oh, they're probably about as big as if a human man puts his bird finger and his pointer finger together, about that big, of a viscous black liquid.
Is there anything to try and identify this liquid?
Religion checks are probably not the worst. Nature is a thing. Yeah, religion's probably better.
Okay.
And Tempe is the one who figures it out. As what this is, it's probably a little shocking when you figure it out. What you're looking at is shadow blood. It's literally a fluid that is infused with the essence of a shadow demon, and it's one of the most notorious drugs in like Mendev and the World Wound, given it's a lot easier to get out here than things that would grow. It's one of the most addictive substances known to man. It also will, when you drink it, it gives you a little bit of resistance to elements, specifically the cold. It helps you see in the dark, but it will leave you for about, depending on how far down the addiction you are, leave you shaking and cold and freezing, and like so cold it will cause your blood to freeze. Further, if someone is under the influence of shadow blood, they take it becomes a lot harder for them, both because in a mechanical sense it hurts your wisdom, but it also gives a penalty on saving throws against possession made by demons, and you can cast as many protection from evils as you want as someone who is taking shadow blood like on them, and they'll all fall off. They are not every drug in the campaign setting has the evil descriptor. This one does.
Is it just the one vial, or is there more in there?
There's probably like 4. As well as a couple of vials that are empty.
You said that the footprints and did you say that the footprints of the halfling and the booted footprints of
well, yes, but Sociel's footprints are footprints you'd expect to find footprints of Sociel in Sociel's tent. Those don't strike you as odd.
So like they overlap their footprints, kind of like trying to hide that they were going through the camp, maybe?
Exactly.
They're going through their tent?
Just the obfuscation tactic of somebody who's half the size of everybody else.
Okay.
So
perhaps we should bring this up after the fight that we're about to go into.
That's fair.
There's a lot of distraught before the primary battle.
Now, I'm just throwing this out there as an option. If we took the vials and then someone were to say, just sit and monitor the situation and see who comes looking for them, or if someone freaks out that they can't find anything, we might be able to figure out who's been keeping tabs on us.
Yes.
Or keeping tabs on me. I guess they were following me before this ever happened.
Do you have any rivals or people that dislike you within the camp?
Tell me, do I have any rivals or people who dislike me in the camp?
Clearly maybe, but also no. Nothing overt.
I have 7 charisma. Sorry. That's Ubin. I have 6 charisma, so it's very likely.
Considering everybody else probably has at least like 14.
I have almost certainly pissed somebody off along the way.
Been there, done that.
Haven't we all? But yeah, no one immediately comes to mind. It's like, oh, this person probably wants to kill me.
Okay. No one on our side comes to mind.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Or if we want to wait until after the battle, that's minimizing disruption is maybe not a bad idea.
Yeah. Let's. You know what? How many vials are in there?
4, and 2 that are empty.
Maybe take the 2 empty vials that we can show as evidence later.
So this is an open tent. Can I look around and see if anyone is like eyeing us or making note of us being here right now?
Sure. Roll perception.
Regulation.
Little one, Tempe, what do you think that we should do?
I'm trying to think. Give me just a moment. I'm looking something up.
We noticed you said that this. Someone said that this potion, this causes like severe trembling and sensation of feeling cold and shivery. Did we see anyone acting in that way?
The only person who noticed it was Tempe, and that was Aaron was shaking a little too hard. Like more than just I'm scared for my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought something was up with. I did talk to him, but I didn't get anything out of him right away. But then I didn't know the right questions to ask, apparently.
Well, so this might explain Aaron's behavior, but is Aaron halfling?
No, he's a human.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily explain the halfling, but that could explain some things.
I have a spell called Detect Anxieties and Detect Desires. Think that might work?
I mean, on the other side of saves, yeah.
I still believe that how this should be addressed, it should perhaps wait until after our successful attack.
Unless he's stopped that somehow from... why is he following us? Is he following us to learn information and then give it to the demons?
Wait, where did you find Aaron?
This was at the war camp when I asked for a sense motive check and only Tempe passed it.
Yeah. No, I meant because you said that he was sent here, he was sent to the wall. Never mind.
Yeah, he was when the Queen of Mendev ordered the only hope, shall we say, to go and find a powerful artifact and retake Dresden. She assigned some specialists to go with, and Sociel and Aaron were among them.
Okay. I mean, on the one hand...
Oh, you know what? That's a fair point, that since they were following us, they might have been spying for us, so this actually probably isn't the worst thing to address at this instant.
Yeah. I suppose if we're concerned about a double agent potentially...
So let's...
I'll say demons providing shadow demon heroin. I don't know what this is.
More or less, I guess.
Yeah. Shadow demon heroin as a means of paying someone or keeping someone on their payroll wouldn't be outside of they wouldn't be above that.
Right.
Let's reconvene the specialists then. Or the council, I guess.
So would this be considered a curse or a disease?
Yeah, addiction is a disease, yeah.
Okay.
Would
that mean that I could drink this stuff and get off scot-free?
That is a question, isn't it? That's where we're at in life.
This is also essentially concentrated evil, so it would probably really not be good for me regardless.
But what a power move to just drink someone's drugs in front of them, just straight up.
He's not wrong.
Do we want to convene?
I can't do that till level 10.
Do we want to reconvene the whole council, or do we want to try and talk to Sociel and Aaron in private?
I think just private.
Yeah.
For now. If we need to, we can get the whole group together. This is what they've done to us.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. So it's not hard to find Sociel, despite his girth and bulk, probably You're not sure how his giant sausage fingers can be as intricate on a lute as they are, but he's probably the life of the party. Aaron is not super far away from him, sitting staring at the fire. And I imagine somebody leads them back to the tent, and Aaron just kind of follows along and says, "Yes? Did you need another painting, my lord? You are looking very resplendent in the horrendous light of our present predicament."
So while he's saying all that, I'm just dropping the bag right in front of him.
Aaron, why didn't you tell me? Thank you so... Can we have a moment alone, please?
I'm afraid that would be ill-advised right now, because...
Okay, fine,
the
but
only
give me
issue.
a note, my lord. And he turns and a spellcraft check happens, and he puts his hand on Aaron, who, doesn't make eye contact with anyone, and I have to imagine the swirly runes, Pathfinder spells, when a cleric of Shaling casts is probably just Roy G. Biv everywhere. It lasts for about 18 seconds, I think the spell's casting time is, and Aaron stops shaking after. I can't believe I didn't notice myself. I owe you. Aaron nods as one. Yeah, I do too.
Hey. Well, the
What?
problem is... Whoever had this bag, whoever had this elixir just when we were trying to scout out Dresden. To Hakon, he was being followed earlier before we met up with him officially. Wait, did you notice the footprints before or after you became mythic?
Before, because I was out scouting and saw the Vescivores, and I was on my way back to report it when I noticed the footprints, and then...
Pop fly left field, you're mythic now.
Yeah.
So, was someone providing you this demon's blood?
I have no idea. I just found it there. I know that's the cliche, what I just said, but it was just there.
Motive. I'm not good at this.
Where did my cursor go? Damn.
He doesn't appear to be lying. He's mostly just scared.
So you found a mysterious black liquid in your bag and decided to drink it?
Aaron's had problems with it in the past. When Canabras fell, we all did a lot of things we didn't want to do to make the pain go away. And if he didn't bring that with him, and Socio glares at Aaron, and Aaron shakes his head no, then I'd say someone knows that, and I'd say someone put it there.
Someone who might be a halfling, perhaps?
Why? Is there any particular halfling you've made mad in your career, my lord?
No.
Again, probably, but... Hakon starts pointing out kind of the footprints, but someone has been in your tent and has been at least at that duffel bag, and it appears to be the same someone who has been following me.
I see. Please, forgive me. I've been so caught up with tending to the wounded and keeping spirits up. I both should have noticed Aaron, and I should have noticed these. I'm sorry.
Can I get a sense motive check on him?
Yeah?
Oh, and I failed miserably.
No, okay. A natural one will only fail an attack roll or save. With the 12,
that's true.
He's a little uncomfortable. His someone he loves has relapsed on demon heroin.
Mm-hmm.
He's not having a good day, and he was having C- days already anyway.
I'd say C- is pretty good considering where we're at right now.
Yep, right. Because the alternative is no more days.
And so you haven't seen anyone coming through your tent. You don't have any associates who you've had in here recently who could have left these.
He shakes his head. No, I'm afraid not. Mostly if I'm here, I'm sleeping, and he motions over to a canvas that's covered. Inspiration keeps one busy.
Well, don't blame yourself. They were clearly trying to hide their tracks.
So I just want to get this. I'm sorry. I just want to get this straight. So Aaron used to use drugs, but he one day found it just in his bag as if someone had planted it there, and he decided to start using it.
That is basically the gist. Yes, Aaron used to use Shadow Blood. He kicked it. Then stressful situations happen, and he finds something and relapses.
Okay. To help him kick it again, I'm going to cast Remove Curse.
Okay, that wouldn't do anything.
I thought just that it would.
Right? And it would, but also like...
Remove Disease. Sorry, not Remove Curse.
You may have been AFK at that point. Social has already cast something on him, and he's not shaking.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like his first action. My partner is not well. Fix.
Okay. So turn to Aaron and how do I want to phrase this? So we are likely going into a battle tomorrow. Are you good to run demolitions in the middle of a battle after this?
I'll do what I can.
Okay.
Which is no more than anyone else can say. Social puts a big old gauntleted hand on Aaron's shoulder and nods.
Do you want us to keep asking for sense motive, or you tell us if we need to?
I'll tell you. Or probably roll it in secret.
Oh, okay.
And the obvious concern here is that if somebody was following us around and following Harkon around, that we may have, and that we have a traitor in our midst that might be, and it seems that they're always ready trying to sabotage our enabling this one's addiction.
Not to mention potentially inhibiting his ability to operate on a battlefield if he's our demolitions expert.
Exactly.
I say, it does appear we have someone acting against us. It's odd that they were tracking, or they seem to be tracking me before this happened, because that would almost imply that they're not just following you, but they're keeping an eye on our scouting or on our intel, maybe.
As you do. Certainly, just causing one person to relapse won't cause the entire army to fall on its head.
No.
Suppose not.
Have we had any scouts fail to report back or disappear?
No, not yet. It's
okay.
It's shall we say, miraculous that hasn't happened given the nature of where you are. But so far, everybody who's gone out has come back, but most people who go out aren't really leaving sight of the camp.
Okay.
We're going to be going to fighting in the next day, but we should probably bring this to public notice by the end of the battle of who is actually trying to drugs.
So do we want to make this like a council meeting, or do we want to make this public? Because my concern would be how morale and the entire camp would respond.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Council then.
Yeah, if the leadership's aware, that's probably important. So we could have, I don't remember his name, the quartermaster keep an eye on for any other odd things ending up in in the like camp.
Make a contraband sweep.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
Do we have like a spy master or anything?
Not really.
That's probably outside of our purview at the moment.
Yeah, you would probably be amongst the closest.
I might try to keep an eye on their tent here for the near future, just to see if I notice any odd comings or goings, or if I can catch this halfling in the act.
Sure.
Spy versus spy.
Pretty much.
What of day is it again?
People will be resting soon. Time of day in the Whirlwind is almost arbitrary.
Well, okay. So, how should we do this? We could take our rest. Should we take our rest, then convene to discuss war plan, and then go to attack, or discuss war plan now, go to bed, and then attack?
I would say wait till tomorrow. It's been a long day already.
As
Okay.
bad the riverbed is all dried out, because now I have nothing to wash all this bug juice of demon blood off of me.
And at that, Sociel snaps his fingers, and the create water from the Shellenite is probably either just crystal clear and sparkling and comes out in like 4-part harmony as it pours into something, or it's just like a liquid rainbow.
Like the Sani just pouring out.
And he snaps his fingers, and you realize he's actually a cleric of the Coca-Cola Corporation, and he's leaving plastic all over the Whirlwind. Big bad is revealed. But yeah, no, there's definitely more than enough people who could prestidigitate or create water you.
Yeah. Sure. Demon Lord, like a Demon Lord of like pollution.
I think that's Sith Visug and Tree Razor. I'm pretty sure. Captain Planet! Gotta do it. Just a bunch of like elf druids. Heart! Okay, so I think the plan I'm hearing is Hawken's gonna watch the tent overnight, and everyone else is resting. War Council in the morning, and then we march to Dresden.
Yeah.
Am I still able to rest while doing that, or would that require? Because I could use a rest.
You could watch for some time and rest. It's that kind of thing.
Okay, that works. I'd more want to be keeping an eye on it when they're not there, since it seems like this person's been going through their stuff when no one's around.
Okay. And
that
so
worked.
it was. The night passes.
What happened to those rock feathers?
They're probably sitting in Grazok's tent somewhere.
Okay. Can I get a couple of those?
That it.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I've just got one small character aside thing.
Okay.
So kind of before bed, like once the camp's kind of quieted down and stuff, would like to take some of those feathers and kind of like bind them in like a red ribbon and go to like a nearby fire, and just kind of offer a small prayer to Regathiel, and just kind of something like I don't know if this was your doing or someone else, or if this was just random chance, but whatever this is, I'm going to use it to get back at these demons and get both of our vengeance and drop the feathers into the fire as a burnt offering to Regathiel.
Okay. Is this something you would try to do where no one would see you?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm not trying to make a show out of this for the camp.
Fair enough. So then I'll say the only person that interacts with you is Tempe or Grazok if they want to have followed.
That was it. And Grazok gave me the feathers, so there's also that.
I was wondering if how long would it take when you take 10 on a skill? What is it?
That probably represents about a minute ish. It depends on the skill.
I wanted to because I wanted to try and weave the feathers into like some sort of cowl or a small cape.
Okay.
Probably would.
This might be a wonderful time to point out that Matt did his own art, and he's told me that he'll work for burritos if y'all would like new art.
Yep.
Cool.
So I'm totally planning to try and get the entire party done at some point, if y'all would like that.
I would buy you a burrito.
I work at a Chipotle. I don't gotta spend no money. I'm just gonna give this man a burrito.
For free.
Yeah, it's what I do. I play D&D and I eat food. And if that's not the American dream, god damn it, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So I don't know who wants theirs done next, but
I'd be down.
All right, sounds like Nick called dibs.
all I need is a detailed character description,
Sure.
or at least any details that you want to include.
So,
14.
I'd like to try to make. You know what? A cowl out of feathers might be too much. How about like a headdress of some kind?
Okay. Yeah, you could probably. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I don't think that's
Okay,
necessarily what Grzak is going for.
None. Full prayer and just to address why he's doing this, to ask for forgiveness for, defiling the silver scales that he was blessed with the carcass, with the pieces of carrion left by his foes. He hopes that in wearing these trophies, he may strike fear into the hearts of those creatures that are anathema to all life, so that when they look upon him, they will know that death and ruin comes for them, that justice comes for them.
Justice. Sorry, I can't not.
That
do
is
it.
his mentality. That's why he's collecting all the horns and feathers and stuff like that.
Okay, I hear you. So as you do this, it's probably, as you put it together, we're looking at like a strip of cloth around your head, and then feathers are stuck in or somehow like sewn in.
Yeah, like a feather headdress. Yeah.
And as you put it on, and you think the thoughts that you think, and the rest of it forms. Like as you put it on, you feel it shift, and it forms the Plato's version of whatever it is you were trying to make, the most perfect representation of what was in your mind's eye, sits on your head.
Ooh. So it's now like a masterwork headdress.
Something like, I guess. It's certainly worth more than before.
All right. Azak is most pleased and thankful for this. Or if I wonder if the art god had anything to do with this.
The art god.
If so, thank you. Right. I suppose that's it for me, and then I'll go to rest.
Okay, works for me.
Anyone else have anything to do?
Not unless I see anything while keeping an eye on their tent.
Yeah, I also want to make sure that I apply that Knight's Pilum, that flag that we got to. Didn't we get a +2 cold iron long spear or a +1 long spear?
+1 cold iron long spear, yeah.
Yeah, I want to make sure to attach it, that pilum to that weapon.
Okay. Let me grab the exact. I forget what it's called, but there was definitely a knight's something that was passed out.
I think it provided a bonus to either strength or some attack stat.
I believe so. It was like you would attach a pennant to a lance or a spear or something, and then the wielder would get mechanical. I'm sure Adam has it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
He, the the greatest of all quarter. Every party needs one quartermaster. If you don't have it, you're in trouble. Especially when you're bi-weekly, you'll lose everything. I cannot count the number of potions. Knight's Pennon is the name with the battle variant.
Yeah.
And there's a +1 returning dagger there, so that's a thing. But in any case, the night passes. From what time Hawkins spends outside the tent, no one appears, and morning dawns. I imagine the war council is called first thing in the morning.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And y'all notice people, like, first thing in the morning come filing in. Aaron looks better than he has in a long time. His hair's kind of, I'll say, Alexander the Great, if that image works for anybody at all. It's really, like, curly and disheveled all the time, but he's cleaned himself up quite a bit. Sociel has polished his armor to a fine shine. Eravashnial he's paying enough attention to catch what is said, then it's back down to a spell book, flip, look up. Horgus he's wearing battle regalia, but the breastplate doesn't quite go down over, like, all of his gut. And the helmet gets, like, halfway onto his head before he'd have to, like, go headbutt something to push the helmet on. Things like that. Nura is not present. Everyone arrives basically at dawn, for lack of a better way to say it. But she does not.
And she was a halfling, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Halfling is missing.
Everyone looks around.
Anybody seen Nura?
Saw her last night before you came back and found me. Sociel, as he pipes up, telling some stories about the people who used to live here before the bad happened. She seemed fine then.
Dear.
Eravashnial looks at her. Wasn't she? She was assigned directly to the Queen of Mendev. Why is she important? I thought she was just here to keep spirits up.
Okay, so Grazak looks at Harkon, and
Do you want me to check her tent?
is it that they say about putting 2 and 2 together?
I'll go check her tent.
Okay.
Nice hat, by the way.
Nice hat, by the way. Tent.
Thank you.
The tent is
Oh, man,
there.
now I regret not getting this bill.
Tent is there, but she's gone.
Does it look like she has, like, grabbed all of her things and tried to leave in a hurry? Like it was ransacked, or...
She grabbed everything that she could carry. The tent is there, the sleeping bag is there, but there's nothing valuable.
Okay, but it looks like she tried to, like, grab her stuff and leave. It wasn't just her, like, the normal day-to-day things.
Right.
Okay. This is probably a long shot in a busy camp, but can I find her tracks and try and see where she was going?
Go for it.
Survival?
Yeah.
I'm gonna help with doing the same.
I'll see if that's not far from the war camp or from the council. I would definitely quickly pop in to be like, hey, this is what happened.
Okay,
She's
so
gone.
you guys do eventually find her tracks. You start looking, like, outside the tent and you find nothing, but you can find her tracks, like, inside the tent where there are a couple of deliberate steps and then the tracks disappear. Which is, of course, like, they just end flat. There is ground where tracks should have been laid on the other side.
And that's in the tent, or
Yeah,
like at the edge of camp?
that's in her tent.
Damn it.
Oh, in her tent. Okay. Was she a caster?
She
She
was...
was a bard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stupid. Why did we not think to go find her first?
I mean, there's multiple halflings in this camp. There's no way we would have known it was her specifically. And so there's nothing left. No like personal possessions that could be helpful. Notes left behind, anything like that.
No. She, for lack of a better way to say it, it appears she's covered her tracks very well.
Yeah.
She is.
This one's a little personal for Matt because this was our last week, and it's this week as well.
Okay.
For a different game that we're in.
If this is.
Oh.
If she is what I fear she might be, quickly, before she has time to. If she is a spy,
Mhm.
she might have been from working with the demons from Dresden. In Murphy's Law, who knows? So
Yeah.
we should mobilize quickly. Let's do that.
Let's do that. Okay. Is there anything else anyone wants to say to anyone on the War Council tonight?
Besides addressing that Nura's missing,
Right.
and reason to suspect she might be traitor.
Yeah, anything other than that, basically.
So we're going to push forward with the attack on Dresden? Dresden.
That's it.
So,
Okay. Then I would say probably our next order then is that we need to
Sky,
mobilize the camp. We are going now.
Alrighty.
Oh.
We've got 3 hours on the road to finalize our battle strategy.
yeah.
So then that means next time on Wrath of the Righteous, we're going to Nick's favorite part of TTRPGs. 20 sessions, 1 combat. The time is upon us. But that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all for hanging out. Thank you for showing up, watching. Thank you to my players for being awesome. And we'll see you next time. Say bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.